Hello, my name is Pat Jacobberger. I'm an All-Breed Judge, Emeritus for the Cat Fanciers Association. And I'm joining you today to present my top 15 winners for the Tidbits category. This final is in conjunction with the 2020 CFA International Top Cat Challenge, a virtual competition. And I want to thank the organizers and the organization for inviting me to participate. This was a lot of fun. I have to tell you that there are no criteria given for Tidbits. In other words, there's not a standard to which they must adhere. I want to invite you to visit and patronize our sponsors for the CFA International Top Cat Challenge. And we also want to thank them very much for participating as sponsors. These kinds of events can't happen without that sponsorship. So we hope that you'll visit them and perhaps purchase some of their products. So my category, as I said, was Tidbits. And as I was saying, also, there's no criteria for Tidbits. So what I did was I kind of set up my own criteria. First of all, the pictures that were sent, some of them were professionally done, and some of them were done by owners and by what I will call non-professional photographers, perhaps aspiring to be photographers. And so what I looked for was engaging facial expressions, engaging eye contact. So you'll notice that a lot of my finalists have a gaze that you'll pick up as you look at the photo. It was a lot of fun. There were 50 participants in this category. So it wasn't just, pick 15, any 15. I actually gave a lot of consideration to the cats the photos that went into my top 15. So without further ado, let's start with my 15th best tidbit. This is an 8-week-old female silver patch tabby with white Scottish fold. What I found attractive about this kitten was she was sort of trying to figure out how she got into the briar patch. I'm sure that she was last nestled up against her mother and her siblings in a nice warm kitten box. And all of a sudden now she's with these highly blemished pumpkins and this strange looking black cat that seems to be following her everywhere she goes. So my 15th best tidbit. My 14th best tidbit is a black and white Sphinx, 2-month male. I love the alertness of this particular entry. The photo caught his interest, and he has his ears all perked up, and he looks like he's ready to chase whatever it is his owner is dangling in front of his face, which is how most of us get our cats to pay attention to us when we want to take a photo. Anyway, my 14th best tidbit. My 13th best tidbit is this tiny little 8-week-old Flamelink point Himalayan male kitten. He looks so worried, and yet he's got his eyes popped open and he's looking around to make sure that nothing's going to get him. I like the fact that he was all nicely groomed for his photo. And you can tell that a long-haired cat anyway is groomed beautifully by looking at the periphery or the edges of the photo. And what you should see is kind of this fanning out of the hairs. That means that they've been bathed and groomed and prepared for whatever event they're competing in. So this is my 13th best tidbit. My 12th best tidbit is another Sphinx. This time a 2-month-old female. She's a chocolate and white, according to the information. She also is particularly attracted to something that's very likely being dangled in front of her. And I find her to be very alert, and, you know, all the wrinkles that she has on her face really contributes to this. Oh my gosh, I should look around for what's going on around me so that it can't eat me. Anyway, my 12th best tidbit, charming little cat. So when you're using props with your kitten pictures or with cat pictures, it's always nice to have them contribute something to the photo other than being simply a platform, as this book. But this little Russian blue 2-month female is looking as though all the knowledge that's in that book is traveling from her feet up into her little Russian blue head. She's alert and content, and she is my 11th best tidbit. My 10th best tidbit is this black spotted tabby exotic kitten, 1-month-old female. Isn't she darling? She has her little buddies with her. One of those prop kind of things that if you're going to use props, they should contribute to the photo, and these fellows certainly do. You know how small these toys are, so now you know how small this little 1-month kitten is. My 10th best tidbit. My 9th best tidbit is a group of Russian blues. So now, if you've ever been to a cat show and you've seen Russian blues, you've noticed that they only come in blue. And that's the way the Russian blue people want it. They only show their blue kittens. Over on the right is what we call a blue point Russian blue. These kittens show up in litters from time to time, and they show up because after World War II, one of the ways they reconstituted the gene pool of Russian blues in Europe was to introduce the blue point Siamese. And so some of those Siamese genes are still floating around in the gene pool. They generally do not register these cats. They generally place them as pets. Every once in a while, I used to see them show up in, for example, a household pet class. You can always pick them out. They have the right ear set, they have the right ear size and aperture, and so forth and so on. The reason that these 3 little kittens kind of like appealed to me, they're 3-month-olds, was the fact that they were all kind of looking in the same general direction, which is kind of hard for a photographer to do, is to get the whole litter to look at you while you get that one super picture. And this was certainly one of those super pictures. My 9th best tidbits. 8th best tidbit is this brown Mackerel Tabby with white, exotic, a 3-month male. He's gazing off into the horizon, and he kind of gave me the impression that he's done with picture taking. He's just about had it. And I just found the expression on his face to be particularly delightful. He's my 8th best tidbit in show. 7th best tidbit is this black long-haired Selkirk Rex. And he's a 2-month male. He actually came, he actually came with 3 photos. I found this one to be the most endearing. He's kind of like gazing toward the photographer, perhaps his owner, as if to say, are we almost done, mommy? Are we almost done? My 7th best tidbit. One of the nice things you can do with a photograph is to take a different perspective. And this photographer caught this kitten on her side. This is the brown patch tabby with white, exotic 1-month female. And she is looking at the photographer's toy, I'm sure, but there's another toy in front of her. it's just a nicely balanced picture, and the nuance of it with the cat sort of on an angle is interesting to me. Plus she's a sweet little cat. She's my 6th best tidbit. So surprise is what this kitty is going through this kitty's mind. Is this is my 5th best tidbit. This is a ruddy or a Tawny Somali 8-week female, or excuse me, 8-week male. And he, of course, the photographer has achieved in the category of getting his attention. And he is looks so surprised. I'm not sure exactly what they were waving in front of him, but he looks surprised. And I found that to be very endearing. 5th best tidbit. My 4th best tidbits, I should say here, is this litter of brown rosetted Bengals. They're 3 months old. Once again, the photographer has managed to get them all to look in his direction at the same time, which makes this photo very endearing. And they all look alert, and they all look like they're ready to rock and roll. And it's a sweet little balanced photo of 3 sweet little balanced Bengal kittens, I think. My 4th best tidbit. My 3rd best tidbit is another Bengal, another brown rosetted Bengal. She's a 6-week female. So, you know, it's like, she looks like she's small enough to pick up and put in your pocket and take with to PetSmart or to wherever else you go to buy your products like Zymox. She's a delightful looking kitten. And once again, the photographer has managed to achieve that full face glance where you get that eye contact with this kitten. 3rd best tidbit. 2nd best tidbit is this perfectly darling brown patched Mackerel Tabby with white bicolored Persian kitten. She is, once again, look at the grooming job on this kitten. Beautiful. If you look at the exterior of the margin of the photo of the kitten, you can see that each hair is separated, obviously bathed and groomed. She's 3 months old. She appears to be outdoors, but I'll bet you that she didn't try to get away. Kittens and adult cats, often when they find themselves outdoors, just kind of freeze. Although, once again, we have a very endearing look and a very sweet expression, and she is my 2nd best tidbit in show. My best tidbit is a blue patched Mackerel Tabby with white exotic, a 4-month-old female. And once again, a very endearing pose and with a straight on glance toward the photographer, which makes this photo very well balanced and very interesting to look at. Once again, she's beautifully groomed. She's struck a pose that isn't very ladylike. However, it's very kitten-like. And that was one of the things that really got my attention for my best tidbit and show. Thank you all for paying attention. Have a good day.